Hello from the Disneyland Resort. I'm Melissa with Mixins and Magic, and today I'm going to be showing you all of the single rider lines between California Adventure Park and Disneyland. Using single rider is a great option because it can allow you to skip the very longest standby lines for some of the most popular attractions, so it is really good to know about. So today I'm going to take you along as I do all the single rider lines in both parks, and I will time everything so you can see how long I waited in the single rider line versus the actual standby wait time of the ride. And I'm going to throw in some little tips and tricks for using single rider line along the way. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss my next video. Let's go do single rider. Radiator Springs Racers is a line that is crazy long all the time, but it does have a single rider option, which is really great if you can take advantage of it because it is usually much shorter. So right now the line is 80 minutes long, the standby line. I'm in the single rider line. Got the timer going. We'll see how long I wait. All right, there's a couple things you need to know about using single rider at the Disneyland Resort. Your child must be 7 years old or older to ride alone, which means they have to be 7 or older to use single rider. And they also need to be comfortable riding alone, sitting next to people that they don't know, because you can wait in line together, but you will be split up. This is the Buddy Pass. They only have it for Monsters Inc. over here in California Adventure Park, but it's basically like single rider. You can skip the line. It's good for 1 or 2 people, but you can ask a cast member at the front if you can use it, and then you just enter in through the exit and they load you into a car in a back row where there's empty space. To use single rider line for Incredicoaster, you don't enter through the main entrance. You kind of follow this fence line until you see the umbrella and the sign for single rider, and that's where you'll enter. You do need to be careful on this attraction because sometimes the single rider line is actually longer or comparable to the regular standby line. So ask a cast member if you're not sure how long single rider will likely be. When my kids were little, then they were always a little bit nervous about using single rider, but they loved the idea of the shortened wait times. So if we had 2 adults with us, then what we would do is we would send like my husband first on the attraction as the first single rider, and then my kids would go after him, and then I would go last, so that when my kids got off the ride, then my husband was there waiting for them. They weren't off the ride without an adult, and then they always had an adult in line with them because I was the last one to ride. So that really worked well for us when they were really little. As they got older, then it didn't really matter if you have older kids or teenagers, then single rider can really save you a lot of time. For single rider, you tell the cast member at the front you want to use it, and they will send you through the exit. So you're going to enter through the exit for single rider. Now, I love you guys. You know that. I love you. But do I love you enough to go on Grizzly River Run right now when it's a little cold outside and I have no poncho and I will undoubtedly get very wet? No. That's where I draw the line. I can't do it, even though I love you. I'm sorry, I just can't. I can't get wet. Now, sometimes Soarin' around the world or Soarin' California, whatever it happens to be when you visit, sometimes they have single rider when it's really busy. Often they do not. So you just have to ask a cast member at the front if they happen to be doing single rider. And if they are while you are visiting, then you can use it. So I'm going to go ask them. We'll see. I've got the Winnie the Pooh attraction behind me. Sometimes they do what's called a Roo Pass, which is basically like the buddy pass for monsters, where you can take 1 or 2 people, go in through the exit, and they will put you in the back row. They're not doing it right now, so I can't show you, but it's always worth asking a cast member if they are doing the Roo Pass, because if you can skip the line for Winnie the Pooh, that's always a good thing. Next up is Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run. One thing you do need to be aware of, if you are doing single rider for Smuggler's Run, you are likely going to be assigned to the position of the engineer, which is the least fun position in my opinion, but it's still going to be a shorter wait if you use single rider. But just be aware, you will most likely be the engineer, so if you're opposed to that, then you might want to wait in the standby line or use a lightning lane. Now, I did want to mention that usually the single rider line is shorter than the standby line, but every once in a while, the single rider line is actually longer than the standby line. You don't want to get in a longer line, so use your good judgment. If it looks excessively long, ask a cast member if they can kind of guesstimate how long the single rider line will be, and then that will help you decide. But almost always it's shorter, but I just wanted to mention that sometimes single rider lines can get long. For single rider with Space Mountain, you're going to enter through the exit. So don't go into the normal entrance. Find the exit, it's right near the bathroom, and follow this little path right down here, and it will take you to the single rider line. They've moved it recently, but just look for the signs. They'll always have signs out there that say single rider. If you are not quite sure where to go, you can always ask a cast member. They are totally happy to help. There we go, all the single rider attractions in California Adventure Park and Disneyland. I hope this was a helpful video. I had lots of fun making it. Make sure you're following along so you don't miss my next video. We'll talk soon.